Benedict Cumberbatch plays a right-wing Christian Republican lawyer who's a Marine.
I am innocent.
He has been interrogated. He has been held against his will for 6 years without a single charge being laid against him.
Hi, Kevin. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Lupe?
I'm good. Thank you. Well, congratulations on the film.
Thank you.
What a story. I mean, we've seen these stories before where people are wrongfully detained at Guatanamo Bay. And I'm going to say his last name. Mr. Salahi was in prison for 14 years without a trial. I mean, what an amazing story. But the fact that he remained with such a good attitude, even after he was tortured, I mean, it really has a lot to say about the human condition, right?
It really does. And I think, first of all, I would say that there have been documentaries and there have been books about Guantanamo, but there's never been a film where you are put into the perspective of a prisoner. And I think it's a rare movie in American cinema, maybe unique, which has a sympathetic Muslim character at the heart of it. So that in itself makes this a very, very different film than anything that has been done before. And that's actually what made me want to do it, because I read the book. I thought this is a fascinating book, Guantanamo Diary, but it was only when I talked to Mohamedou, the writer, the prisoner, that I realized that, first of all, he was not what I expected. I thought somebody would be angry, embittered, maybe again, very much against the West after having had that experience. Instead, here's someone who loves American culture. He sings American country and Western songs to you. He has watched so many American movies while he was in Guantanamo, and there's so many things that he has embraced and loves about the culture, and so many people in Guantanamo who he became great friends with, because there's something so friendly and empathetic about his character. But he's just a very different person, and an amazing person, because he has been able to forgive what happened to him. And that to me was the central message of this film, the resilience and of the human spirit, and an ability to forgive after, unforgivable in a way, actions been done to you.
I'm sure some of the guards there had probably doubts about what they were doing once they got to know him,
Absolutely, and they really did. And it's one of the things in his book which is so fascinating, that Mohamedou is always empathizing with other people. And I think that's his secret weapon, is empathy. He is always in his book saying, I wonder why this guard is doing this to me. What was their upbringing? What are their beliefs? Do they really understand what it says in the Bible? And he engages them in conversation, and they become kind of friendly with him. And so I think it's a model for all of us in a time, particularly where everyone is so divided, where we're all thinking, oh, he's on that side, I'm on this side, and I'm not going to try and understand anything from his opinions. This man from a Mauritania country most people have never even heard of, I think has a lesson to teach us all.
And he's played by Tahar, who's a really great actor. And you really see how much of his personality he captured, because we see the real person at the end of the movie, and you're like, oh my God, like he captured him perfectly.
Yeah, he totally captures his personality. Tahar Rahim is a French actor of Algerian origins, and I'd worked with him before 10 years ago when he didn't speak any English at all. And over the last 10 years, he's learned English incredibly well. And he's able to be there opposite Jodie Foster, Shailene Woodley, these great American actors, and totally hold his own. And there's something about him that he has the same warmth that Mohamedou has, the same humor. And I couldn't have found better casting. And I hope he's going to win all the awards for this role.
Yeah, deserves it. And, working with Jodie, like you mentioned, the cast, Jodie Foster, Shailene Woodley, Benedict Cumberbatch, you have Zachary Levi. I mean, it's a great cast. And what were their thoughts coming into a movie like this? I mean, was the attraction the fact that this person was so forgiving?
I think everybody did this movie, I think, because they felt it was an important story, and they felt it most of all that it was a story which wasn't pointing political fingers and being politically angry. It's actually a film about humanity and about forgiveness. And Benedict Cumberbatch plays a right-wing Christian Republican lawyer who's a Marine, and you know, in many liberal movies, he would be the bad guy.
Yeah.
But actually, he, you know, is maybe the most decent, brave person. He has such a lot of integrity. He stands up against his superiors to say, this case should not proceed because all the evidence is sullied by the fact that it was gained through mistreatment of the prisoner. So he's a genuine hero. And the same for Jodie and Shailene. They wanted to tell this beautiful human story.
Well, it's a great movie, especially right now, about forgiveness and a lot of stuff. So congratulations on the film.
Thanks a lot. Really nice to talk to you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, likewise.